Thank you, everyone. I think this is one of those moments, Jesus take the wheel situation. So hopefully we'll make it. I do have my notes, so I'll have to rely on them a little bit. So I want to thank all the sponsors here for making this event happen on a monthly basis. And thank you, Elizabeth, for giving me the opportunity. I'm honored to be here in front of all of you. And thank you, my husband is here. And also thank you to all of my supporters and friends. So I want to start with saying that so many great speakers come through this stage, sharing their inspiring stories, and stories of survival, heartbreak, and wins. So we all go through so many seasons in our life. And as much as we strive to have good seasons, we all experience bad ones. Most common things we have as humans, no matter what background, age, race, or gender, we are all seeking for something. Most of the time, we are searching for the next big thing that might finally take us to that happy, balanced life we all desire. So the more we search, we seem to be more lost. I was once there. I was constantly looking for something. And that continued until I found 3 keys that helped me to unlock my life towards having an abundant life. Those 3 keys became the subject of my best-selling book, Currencies of Life. This wasn't something that I was looking for to become an author, or even thought it was possible considering English is my self-taught English. English was my self-taught 3rd language. So I am very honored to be listed amongst great financial educators such as Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey. And of course, I was thrilled to be listed next to the amazing book, Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the amazing books of all times. So in my book, I reveal the Trinity of Abundance, which is the holistic approach towards a wealthier life. And I help people increase accountability, efficiency, and profitability in life. I've discovered a roadmap, leveraging my professional experience. My responsibilities at work was about having lean processes within all the organization I worked for. I was helping reduce cost, avoid cost, and bringing improvements to the bottom line. Basically, avoiding wasteful activities. Which made me realize, if I only applied my professional knowledge and skill sets into my personal life, that could make a huge difference. So that is how my 7-step process, the Wealth Accelerator Method, was born. So today, I want to share 3 keys to abundance. And I hope that you will be able to unlock your life's hidden treasures, like I did. So the first key is money. Money isn't everything, but everything needs money. Growing up in communist Soviet Union country, I didn't grow up influenced by money, nor planning for the future. But I watched my mother working hard and raising 5 children on her own. Being the youngest of 5, I was indeed a spoiled brat, and fortunate to have had many toys, pretty bows, and fancy dresses that many kids didn't have. That made me feel very wealthy. And one particular experience I'm thankful for is to have power and independence that came with having toys. As I remember, kids in my neighborhood will knock on my door and invite me to play. I should say they come to me because of my toys. So that allowed me to be able to set rules before I agree to play. I learned early on to leverage. Leverage because I would select what team I want to be part of, because I always wanted to be a winner. And if anyone in the process hurt my feelings, I picked up my ball and went home, leaving kids in the middle of exciting game. That is a bratty move, I know. But what that taught me is to be independent. So ever since, I was strived to be financially successful. I had established myself financially early on in life, owning my first business at the age of 20, renting transportation. I owned a car and an apartment, something that not many women had at those times. I was amongst very few women in our village who drove a car, where men would turn around and stare at you, because that wasn't a norm. So overall, I realized I wanted to have leverage and not debt. That became my norm until I immigrated to US at the age of 26. I slowly started discovering that I didn't know much about money. I had to adopt new ways of thinking and doing, had to learn what credit score, 401k, because I had zero history at that time. I barely spoke English, and just like my face on the photo, I was unaware of life adversities were coming my way in coming years. I was dependent on my husband, like many women are, not imagining anything going wrong in my marriage. After all, I came here in pursuit of love, not the money or a better life like most. I had to overcome an obstacle of bringing more abundance in my life. Looking at my money blind spots, what I thought was norm wasn't norm anymore. I had to learn my money personality, because I thought frugal was a thing to be rich. I had to understand my money emotions around having fear and culturally rooted ideas about money. So life continued to happen until in 2012, I've gotten into a dark season of my life after losing my mother. I wasn't living, I was just existing. I wasn't prepared for grief, nor did I know what grief was. All I felt is emptiness in this far foreign land from my home country. I felt no one can see, hear, or feel my pain. So the feeling of loneliness and heartbreak spiraled me down into the life-changing events, one after another, that ended my 12-year marriage, and right after that, father of my kids passed away. And in the midst of all, I had to go back to work at the age of 32. Being an immigrant, it took me a while to find a job. My obstacles were my accent. I had no American education, nor I had experience here in US. I did obtain bachelor's degree in finance in my home country. So after many months of search and after almost 6 years of being out of workforce in corporate world, I finally was hired to the similar position I left behind in my home country. My money discovery journey took me to money exposure from a cultural perspective. Once here in US, I saw strawberries and bananas in winter. We barely had them in summer when I was young. Millions of different ice cream flavor, something that I didn't even know existed till I was 10 years old. That was the age when I first tasted ice cream in my life. Sale signs that got my head spinning, making me feel like I'm going to be left out if I didn't buy it right away. And in addition, realizing that my rich childhood wasn't rich at all. Item returns. What? Growing up, we couldn't return anything. We barely could buy anything. But a lot of stores would have sign that says no return. So here in the US, I was terrified to go to a customer service counter for many years. Until a friend of mine told me, Meru, this is America. You can even return toothpicks that you used. Funny, but the truth. The customer is always right. And I saw people swiping credit cards, definitely not the norm of my youth. And amazingly, over the years, I saw people with money issues, those with it and without. Many people live a life filled with money misconception, misinformation, confusion and falsification. And of course, they all have fear around money. Living trapped by loneliness if they have money, and if there is no money, the feeling of lack. That is how I got inspired to help people lead a debt-free life. We either financially or emotionally in debt, or in debt in both areas. I continued to search for answers, because even if I was financially successful and debt-free, I was emotionally in debt, leading me to feel so unhappy and miserable and lonely. So that is how I found key number 2, which is our inner self, our emotional aspect. As I was busy seeking for the next big success in life, bigger raise, better job, better diet, whatever, better husband, better kids maybe sometimes, I came to realize that I was in the state of inner self versus outer self confusion. Did you know that conscious mind only operates at about 5%? So we need to tap into our subconscious mind that operates at 95% of our lives, bringing awareness around inner self versus outer self. We need to learn how to be mindful and to take that awareness into something that we do. Because 5% of conscious mind tends to lead us, tend to lead us to money illusions, as we all want to follow the society's version of a perfect life. It's easy to follow the same paths to reach the same destinations. Most of the time, we may not know or even don't understand if the destination we are going to is the destination we want to be at. And none of us clearly understand if we are fooling life fully, or is it the illusion that we created that we are living fully? So most of us get stuck in a comparison game, keeping up with Joneses. Like I say in current age, keeping up with Kardashians. So as we operate on 5% of our conscious mind, 95% conscious mind puts us living in darkness, with desire to constantly search for something bigger and better. That is why we always imagine and await for the light at the end of the tunnel. The light at the end of the tunnel will come with key, which is spirituality. We are not rich until we have something money can buy. Spirituality opens an opportunity to connect to our higher self. It is so important. It is so important as the ability to surround and provide the light in your life, and not just at the end of the tunnel. Humans designed to be wanting to control everything in life. So we all need spirituality, the key that provides hope, peace, and joy in life. Understanding the foundation of my faith was a huge eye-opener. I lived bound mostly in my emotional debt that I couldn't even enjoy my hard-earned money. Religion wasn't something I brought up with in the communist country. I never heard of Christ other than seeing him in cartoons. So Christ was unknown. That is why I was terrified of the idea of Christ, because of the religion aspect. I was fearful to get caught in some kind of cult, especially being vulnerable emotionally. So it took me 6 years to do my own spiritual search that ended up leading me to Christ. I'm not here to push my belief on you, but I'm here to invite you to find your own truth. We as humans need to find something higher than ourselves, something that can hold on to in our darkest moments, something that can help you hold on to hope, as without it, life can be really hard. So find your own truth of higher power to be able to transform your life, renew your mind, and bring in more abundance in your life. I shared my spiritual awakening story in my book, if you like to learn more. So I want to highlight the importance of faith. Having faith is very important, and it is finishing touch to the Trinity of Abundance triangle. In order to lead a wealthy life and stop searching endlessly, we need all three keys: emotional, spiritual, and financial, to help us in our journey in this life. And these have to be intertwined. They have to be connected and not be functioning as a separate entities. We can't go to church on Sunday and then don't do the rest of the week. Or we can earn money and not be taking care of our inner self. And if you are not sure what area is depleting your life, I have a 5-question quiz called "What are your hidden treasures?" that you can find on my website at yoursavingspro.com/quizzes, or contact me. So I no longer seek for the next best thing, because the next best thing is inside of me. And instead of searching, now I'm taking actions to help others and share my lessons. So I encourage you today to start using the keys to unlock and reach your abundant life. I call you to live a debt-free life, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, by understanding your currencies of life for yourself today and tomorrow for your legacy. Life is short, So instead of focusing on your problems, which is only 5% of your awareness, start digging into your root cause problems, which is your 95%. So I want to thank you all for being here. And in conclusion, let me share the keys and the roadmap that I shared with you today helped me to heal, forgive, find light, enjoy my hard-earned money, save my marriage, and it helps me to be a better parent, even though kids may not think so. And I continue to grow my relationship with my God, husband, and children. And it also helped me to overcome fear, including fear of dogs. Once I was terrified of them, now I have 2. Maybe third one is coming too. So thank you again for listening. I hope I have inspired you to start unlocking your life's hidden treasures and reach your greatest potentials in life. And stop searching, because you have it within you. The greatness is inside of you. The wealth is inside of you. No need to keep up with other people. So if you have any questions, I will be gladly answer them for them. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah. Well, like I said, I was fearful of Christ because of kind of the way I was raised. And the more I denied, the more it basically found me through people, through certain things. Then I started coming across movies, people. It's just things started slowly happening over the 6 years of my journey. And then one point, somebody told me, like, you need to talk to him. Like, I get answer from him directly. So I started asking questions. Well, if you do exist, and according to my friend so-and-so, and whatever, I said, you need to show yourself to me, because otherwise I cannot believe it. Especially you made me very analytical. You gave me all these qualities like negotiation skills. So I have to leverage the same skills you gave me kind of against you. So I started asking God, like, to show yourself to me. And then I was kind of, in my head, I will be playing the argument of, I know that the only way you can show yourself is probably like put me in some car accident or near-death experience. But I said, I don't want that. However, I don't want that because I have 3 kids and I have 0 family support here. So I can't be laying in the hospital with little kids. So I said, how about maybe you give me other idea, like other ways showing yourself. So I was asking him to come to my home maybe at some time and just say hello there or something, I don't know, like figure it out the easy way so I don't have to go through pain. But then I said, if you decide to do that, you need to make sure my husband hears you. Because if it's just me, then it will be a nutcase situation. So one morning, I guess after I asked, I forgot about it, moved on with my life like we all do. And there was one specific morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning, I think. We both woke up and we clearly heard, hello there, a male voice. And of course, I forgot about my request. It all came to me after the fact. So I think that was my awakening moment, that even though I denied everything that had happened in my life, and I think specifically that day I remembered that one time when I was camping in Colorado, Jesus came to my tent and said, my child, you are blessed. At that time, I was like, what the freak? Like, I didn't even think about you. I don't even open Bible. Like, I didn't know about him. So imagine him coming to my actual tent. I was sleeping. It wasn't even that type of dream where you see yourself somewhere else, but it was actually. So like I said, all these little things that had happened over the 6 years. And then finally, when I realized everything, all these pieces come alive like a puzzle. So that's how I thought, okay, I'm following. And my 13-year-old, actually, I didn't raise my kids to believe in Jesus, so now it's kind of a little too late in a way, maybe sometimes. My 13-year-old asked me, Mom, so does this mean you're religious now? I say, well, I don't want to be distracted by religion because I believe religion was made by people. What I concentrate is building a relationship with God directly and spend every time I have talking to Him directly. So kind of that's my approach of spirituality, but I'm sure everybody have their own style. Thank you. Anybody? Questions, Stacy?
What was the flashpoint for determining if you were going to write a book? And then what was that process like from beginning to end?
So yeah, I was actually, the book writing happened during the COVID, and I found myself falling into that moment of searching for something new. And I was having a hard time in my marriage at that time. I think it was a turning point where I had to look back, like I said, instead of looking at the problem that I need a better husband, I needed to look at the 95% of subconscious mind. So that's where I was like, okay, I don't know. The book, actually, I believe it was kind of a spirit-led, in a way, situation, because I didn't have plans writing a book. So that's how it was. So using my life circumstances, the book came alive. And the book, I'm actually action-oriented person, so I hired Angela, and she took me through the 12-week process. So I think writing book may be different for everybody, depending on when you want to finish it. Thank you so much for coming and listening to my strange stories. Hopefully I inspired you. Like I said, greatness is inside of you. So enjoy your life.